Mark and Craig, Pot Brothers at Law. Welcome to our series of tips educating you on exactly what to do and say during a traffic stop.
Throughout this series, we will cover all aspects of a traffic stop from the moment you see those lights behind you until you have to call 855-WASLAW after you bail out.
Today, we're going to start with the moment you see those lights behind you.
What do you do?
After that, you pull over immediately as soon as it's safe. Now, as if we're in the car here, we're driving along and, oh shit, I still have my meds in the car.
Idiot, it's supposed to be in the trunk. What the hell? We're going to get an open container ticket.
Yes, if anything is out, you could get an open container.
Hold on, little brother. Let's back up and talk about where you should store your cannabis in the first place after purchase from a legal shop.
Yes, in the trunk. Always put your cannabis in the trunk and seal. Remember, if the seal is broken or the package has been opened, it is just like having an open container of alcohol. And in California, it's 1 point on your driving record. Google it in your state.
Keep it in the trunk.
Okay, now we're in the car. Everything's in the trunk. We're putting it in the trunk. And now we're driving along and then we, woo, woo, woo. Oh shit, sirens.
Did you put it in the trunk?
I did. It's in the trunk. It's in the trunk. But look. Oh, see, in the ashtray, I had a roach.
Really? You had to keep it in the, you had to keep that roach. Always remember to clear your car of any cannabis that is in plain view. Even a roach in plain view could give the officer the probable cause they need to search and do a warrantless search.
So then if I just eat the roach, it's not in plain view anymore. Okay.
You can always eat the roach.
All right, now here we go.
Once you pull over, shut off the engine, put your keys in your pocket, and place your hands on the steering wheel.
It's very important to make the officer feel safe and comfortable. They have a hard job to do, and it's happened where an officer walks up to a traffic stop and they get shot. So to make them feel at ease, roll down your windows enough to pass your license, insurance, and registration through. And if you have tinted windows all the way around your car, roll them all down so they can see what's going on. All right, now we're going to be approached by the officer. We're waiting. Big brother has his hands on the steering wheel. He's got his license, insurance, and registration out. Driver in the car, do not move.
We suggest keeping your license, insurance, and registration up on your visor so you do not have to reach down or anywhere in a console that the cop can say he was in fear of his safety, grab you out, and possibly shoot you.
That's right. So everything's in the trunk. We've got his license, insurance, and registration ready. His hands are on the wheel. We're getting ready now to get pulled over. And that covers the traffic stop from the moment you see those lights right up to where the officer approaches the vehicle. And we are going to continue on with what to do when that cop approaches your vehicle right now in the next tip. The first 11 words of the script is what we're going to be turning to. So the cop's going to come over. Big brother has his license, insurance, and registration. Everything's ready to go. Where is it?
In the visor, somewhere you can reach in plain view. And this is when we use the script, the only 25 words you'll ever say to the police.
All right, I'm going to be the cop here. Now, good afternoon. Why are you going so fast?
Why'd you pull me over?
Didn't you hear what I just said? You were speeding.
That's exactly what they do. They get loud, they yell, maybe even scream to intimidate you, talking and saying things you shouldn't. No matter what they start with, you say very politely, why did you pull me over? No matter what they say.
The reason you want to say, why did you pull me over, is it establishes the reason for the stop. And now the officers have approximately 8 to 10 minutes to give you a traffic ticket unless they find other independent probable cause to further detain and search. Back to the cop. Now that I know you were speeding, what you want to tell me what the smell is?
This is what you don't do. Officer, I have marijuana and it's in my trunk.
Oh, you want to tell them it's your medicine? Don't do that. They don't care. That will just lead to a reason for them to search. So after the stop has been established, the cop's going to start asking questions. Like what?
Like, what's that smell? What's your hurry? Where are your drugs? Have you been drinking? Tell me anything else that they might ask you. You stick to these 5 words next, no matter what they say or ask you.
Very politely. I'm not discussing my day. We find this is the best and easiest thing to say to any question at all.
Do not let the officer trick you when they say, come on, you can answer a simple question, can't you? Don't give me a hard time. I need you to cooperate with me.
There it is, cooperation. Remember, cooperating does not mean talking. Cooperating is getting out of your vehicle when asked, putting your hands behind your back. The moment you pulled over, you cooperated. Do not answering questions leads to self-incrimination.
Cooperation does not mean blabbing on yourself.
All right, back to the officer. So you want to be a smartass. This goes one of two ways. One way is ends with you in handcuffs in the back of my squad car. Now tell me what the smell is.
Again, this is what not to do. Officer, there's no smell. Not sure what you think the smell is. Your answer actually is, again, if you want, I'm not discussing my day.
You know damn well what the smell is, the officer is going to say. Don't engage in conversation with any officer at a traffic stop. Any question he asks you at that point, your response is,
I'm not discussing my day. Even if he says, I don't care if it's just a little pot. It's okay. Just tell me. I'm not discussing my day.
all right, that covers a traffic stop from the moment the cop approaches to the first 11 words that you are going to say. Let's recap, big brother. So the cop first comes up to you. What do you say?
Why did you pull me over?
And then when he starts asking questions, trying to intimidate you and saying whatever he's going to say, any question at all, what do you say?
I'm not discussing my day.
All right, there you have it. The officer approaches, and now you know the first 11 words to the 25-word script. We are now going to get into
Final 14 words.
All right, so the officer is going to continue harassing you by saying, so you don't want to discuss your day. You think I give a about what your day is? This can go the easy way or the hard way. If you just come clean, then you can go. Now tell me where the drugs are and if you had anything to drink today, because I think you smell like a brewery.
Again, what not to do. What the is your problem, really? Really, your hand's on your gun because I'm exercising my rights and not answering your questions? Your hand is on your gun. You stay out of this. Get away from me. That's what not to do. What do you do?
Well, so while my big brother's right and the cop is way out of line, this is not the time to argue with the officer, as my brother said. Remember, the time to argue is in court later when your attorney can speak on your behalf.
So no matter how much the cops lie to you, try to scare you and intimidate you, bully you, and try to get you to talk, you never discuss your day. Stay calm and polite.
Which brings us to the last line of the script. In the last video, we explained and ended with, I'm not discussing my day. When the officer continues, and as Big Brother just described, what do you say?
Am I being detained or am I free to go?
And then the cop's going to say, well, since you don't want to answer a few simple questions and help me, I'm going to detain you. Get out of the car.
Again, this is what not to do. Really now I've been detained for what? Speeding? You pulled me over for speeding. What facts can you articulate that a crime have occurred? Which warrant you get me out of my car on? You don't argue with them. You do the next step, which is
never resist, never reach, never run. Once you have said, am I being detained or am I free to go? And the officer says you're detained, you simply comply.
Get out of the car, put your keys that should already be in your pocket, lock your door, close your door, and comply with the officer's demands. And if he wants to set you on the curb, put you on the side, you listen to him, but you still continue not to talk.
And so right there, that's what we say, comply now and complain later, which was actually first said by Covington, Georgia's police chief, Stacy Cotton, in May of 2016, which is now a national campaign run by the National Police Association. Comply now, complain later. We've always said when you exit the vehicle, just get out. But what about when the situation, when you're speeding, there's no other allegations of crime, and the officer just wants you to get out of the car? Do you still have to get out?
You still get out of the car, even though it might not be a lawful order. You should get out. You don't necessarily have to, but maybe it's well within your rights not to, and not to show your ID the whole time. But this is a very, very heavy but. A string of case law starting with Terry v. Ohio allows the cop the right to rip you out of that car and beat you under the guise of officer safety.
You said it, big brother. The Fourth Amendment rights were systematically stripped down via a multitude of Supreme Court rulings that would ultimately affect, aid, and contribute to the systematic racism that infiltrated our police and penal systems. We explore that and more in some of our videos about overturning Terry.
Stop rambling. Get to the script.
All right. Am I being detained or am I free to go? Puts the officer in a position to have to make that decision. Now, if you stick to the script, you've already shown the officer that you've known your rights, and now the officer must make a decision. While the script is no guarantee that this will happen, but we get messages from across the country that you just get a warning, a simple traffic citation, and many times they are sent on their way. But if they say you're being detained like this, you're being detained, get out of the car. What do?
You get out of the car. Simple. You listen to their instructions and follow their instructions.
And when the cop says, now that you're just tell me how many drinks you've had.
What? Now you want to know how many drinks I had? What?
This is more of what they do. Once you are detained, you have to say what?
I invoke the fifth.
And you must say it. The Supreme Court has said you must speak in order to invoke your right to be silent. You must explicitly state it. And you can read that in the case of Salinas versus Texas.
Otherwise, they can actually take your silence for a sign of guilt and use it in court.
So he puts the cuffs on Big Brother. All right, now you want to say something? Tell me where the drugs are. Tell me if you've drank.
What not to do is say anything further.
What do you say?
I invoke the fifth.
Right. And then the cop might just say, you think I give a flying rat's about your Fifth Amendment? You want a fifth of whiskey? Is that what you drank and you ran a red light? You think you have rights? Right now, I can do whatever I want. In fact, you'll be spending the night in jail if you don't answer a few simple questions that I have.
So you think that these handcuffs might come off, officer, if you let me go, if I just tell you what I've been doing and where I've gone and how many drinks or smokes I had?
Absolutely. Now, don't forget, cops are trained to lie to you. And once you talk, they are arresting you and taking you in. And now you've helped them. With what, Big Brother?
Remember, don't yourself. All you do by talking is helping the cops help you yourself. So stick to the script. After you've invoked the fifth, stay silent and shut
Hold on. Wait just a minute, Big Brother. Before we get to that part, we need to address those out there who think the script will not work for them. Minorities, people of color, people with alternative lifestyles, those who are generally given much more attention by the police simply due to the way they look.
I mean, it is horrible out there that many things happen at traffic stops and it's disproportionately impacted minorities. It's crazy, but listen, all you have to do is politely and calmly use the 25 words and it will lessen your chance of any kind of heightened altercation with law enforcement.
And so we get people saying this won't work. So we want to describe and understand what the script is not for. It's not to ensure you don't get profiled and pulled over. It's not to ensure that you don't get a traffic ticket. It's not to ensure that you don't get arrested. It's not to ensure that you do not get charged with a crime. It's not to ensure that you do not get harassed by the police. It is not to ensure that you don't get beat by the police or even shot and killed. All those horrible things happen at traffic stops, and unfortunately, we can't do anything about that.
Well, at a traffic stop is to get a citation. That is it. You were pulled over for a vehicle code violation or infraction of some sort. Now, if you were driving like an idiot or actually impaired on anything, do not drive. It's not safe. We're not advocating that. We're advocating to shut up when they ask questions.
And the script is there to protect and preserve all of your rights, remedies, and defenses after in court for defense of criminal charges and or to bring a civil action for violation of your rights.
And once they get you out of the car and once you're detained and handcuffed and arrested, you want to make sure you never consent to a search.
And always film the police. So let's do a quick recap with what we call the Shut the Fuck Up Friday script review. Let's do it. Big Brother, what do you say when the cops first pull you over?
Why did you pull me over?
And then when they start asking questions?
I'm not discussing my day.
And when they keep asking questions and trying to intimidate you, scare you, lie to you?
Politely, am I being detained or am I free to go?
And if detained, what do you have to say?
I invoke the fifth.
And then, Big Brother, I know you love saying this part, and they're going to try to bully you, trying to get you to answer more questions. When you're in the back seat of the car, when you're at the jail, all those places, no matter where you are, what do?
You shut up.
That's it.